You look like a little steamship. Dear crew, today we have a very important mission, which is to get rid of those damn termites once and for all. For more than 3 or 4 years, without paying a single cent of rent, they've been living on the walnut deck, which is going to be my future carpenter's bench. Moravian? We're building a heat chamber to do that. Here you see me gluing with cold glue. Expanded polystyrene, or plumavit as it's known here in Chile, wasn't such a good method. Maybe not because cold glue is bad, I've seen it work, but because my workshop is extremely cold. As you know, cold glue doesn't work well in cold conditions. So I wasted a bit of time trying to glue this with cold glue, but then I quickly changed the method. As you'll see later, here you can see me using the famous duct tape, or tape, right, which is commonly used for everything. And that method worked much, much better. The cover may not look it, but trust me, it weighs a ton, easily over 100 kilos. This is a piece of European walnut wood, and this is going to be the top of the workbench. In fact, it was so heavy that I had to ask Miss Francisca, my lovely wife, for help, and she bravely agreed to help me move that huge thing. Here we are, still assembling the camera. Super, super easy. I think I've never cut foam board a bit with a saw, and it cuts really well. Also, the hole for plugging in the heater was really easy to cut with a jigsaw. The tape ended up being firmer than I expected. There we see something that even today gives me chills when I look at it, which are the holes they've left. The termites have done a lot of damage to the roof, and every year the damage these pests have caused gets worse. So I think this is going to be the last intervention. I've tried chemicals, all kinds of products, and honestly, nothing has worked for me. I'm not sure if I applied it wrong, but this is my last resort, so I hope it works. Here we are cutting with the jigsaw, like I mentioned. It's super easy, it cuts really easily, and here we are finally plugging in the heater. With this meat thermometer, we're going to monitor the internal temperature of the wood. We need to reach 60 degrees Celsius for at least half an hour. That way, we'll eliminate all termites and larvae. This is a tremendous piece of wood. If you want to sterilize or eliminate termites from 1-inch pieces of wood, you'll be able to do it much faster than in this case. I'm going to be here for about 4.5 hours, heating the chamber to a temperature of 74 to 72 degrees Celsius, so that the wood reaches a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. The chamber will always be a little hotter than the wood because the temperature needs to transfer to the piece. I got this homemade oven technique for eliminating termites from a really good video. I'm gonna leave you the link to that video to give proper credit, and I'll also leave it. The chart with the scientific research specifies the time, the temperature, and depending on the thickness of the wood you're heating. For this measurement, the chart indicated about 4.5 hours, but as I mentioned, smaller boards reach 60 degrees Celsius much faster. I'll include the chart in the video description. So let's leave the thermometer here, let's close this lid, and let's go to the other side. To the heater, we're ready to start up the heater. Let's set it to low intensity first, and as the temperature rises, we'll be monitoring both the internal temperature of the wood and the temperature of the chamber at the same time. The chamber. I don't want it to go above 72, 74 degrees for safety because of the styrofoam, the expanded polystyrene. I don't want to heat it too much, and as I said, the target temperature for the core of the wood is 60 degrees Celsius for half an hour. That's when we'll get rid of the pests. I had to make a small change of strategy since the heater failed me and I switched to this hairdryer, which held up well until the end of its job. Five hours have already passed. It took a little longer than I expected. And we reached a temperature of 58 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. Which I think is enough to have killed the bugs. In any case, time will tell if the termites actually died. We'll need to closely monitor the wood. Here's my invention for holding the hairdryer. Let's open the lid to see how the wood turned out. I haven't seen it yet. I'm opening it for the first time with you. I'm going to guess that the wood where it was joined with cold glue will probably, at least on this side. It's going to be separated because the heat and air from the hairdryer directly on the end grain probably made it lose a lot of moisture very quickly there. So if they separated a lot, maybe we'll have to find a solution when we're assembling the folder bench. But it's not that serious. Just like that? Slightly worse than I expected. They drifted apart a lot, but is there a solution for that? The humidity here near Osorno is around 90%, and now, with rainy days, it reaches 100%, many times. Imagine how this small piece of wood transformed. I think that with a moisture content of maybe 20%, it went down to about 8 or 7, it must be. I'm going to measure it now with my moisture meter. Let's see. Much less than 1%. I mean, this was an intense shock that we gave to this poor walnut tree. The joints separated quite a bit, but I'm thinking that when it grows back, look how it cracked here, really badly. When it grows back, what's it called? But I'm thinking that when it regains a bit of moisture, maybe they'll come together a little. And in the worst case scenario, we're probably going to have to run a metal wire through here and join it with a nut or something like that. We're going to have to improvise. Here's our thermometer. On this side, there are some that separated a little bit. It was to be expected that the head would have this separation due to the rapid loss of moisture it experienced at such high temperatures. But on this side, where the dryer was placed, it was more intense. In any case, when you do this, you probably won't do it with an already assembled piece if you do it with an already assembled piece. I would recommend that you put the dryer or the heater not right on an edge like I did, but instead do it here on the side or from above or below. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but to avoid my mistake, if you use unassembled wooden pieces, it really doesn't matter much. Here we have a really ugly gap, but what really mattered here was to fix this one. These little friends that for over a year haven't let me work in peace with this walnut top that's going to become my Moravian-style workbench. So let's hope it's gone and that this treatment was enough. Important detail. The piece of wood needs to have a strip to keep it separated from the bottom of the hood, so that the heat can pass through underneath as well. Friends, I hope you found this video helpful and like this termite killing method. If you try it, let me know your results. Sending you a hug, take care, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.